Welcome back, everyone. So in the last video, I showed you an independent query. I just want to mention that inside of this application, I did not create a mutation for you. The reason why is because, unfortunately, in order for me to show you the playground, I had to set up a backend playground from scratch. As a result, if I created a mutation for you, then anybody would be able to store data inside a mutation or make modifications. And as a result, the course and the actual server would become inconsistent for all the different students as everybody was making mutations. But I do want to talk about how the mutations work inside of Apollo. So again, the format is pretty much the exact same. Nothing is that different with mutations and query. And that's what's really nice about GraphQL and Apollo, is that there is a very streamlined syntax that you have to know in order for you to work with it. I'm going to show you, but we can't see it actually work live, again, because there's no mutations, but we can take a look at the syntax. So the way it works is you're going to bring in the use mutation hook. And then let's say that we were setting some kind of category. What you would say is, again, you would make a set category GQL blob. And then inside, what you would add is the actual mutation. So this would be the object that you want to add. And instead of saying query, you would say mutation. And then it's just a matter of adding the appropriate values. So for example, let's say in this particular case, this mutation was really just adding a new category item. You could literally say category, like so, goes to, and then the category type that we have inside of our GraphQL types. Then you would just call the literal mutation, add category. So this mutation name would be inside of our playground in the schema. So up here, you see type query. You would just see an additional one, type mutation. And then just like you saw here, it would just be a different signature. Instead of a get, it would be set. It's very similar. So you would just take that value of the actual mutation name, and just like we did, you would just pass the category calling the appropriate value. And then it's just a matter of saying what values you're trying to update inside of your store. So it could probably be the exact same as what we have here. And now, with this set category, in order for you to use it, what you would do is just say const, and then you would just pass in out of the actual array that you get back, the use mutation hook, giving it set category. Then it's just a matter of naming the actual function that you get back. So this is a mutating function, because again, we're trying to pass it some data. So this would be add category. And then, as you can imagine, the second argument is the same as what you get here. So you get a loading state, you're getting an error, and then you get the data. So let's actually hide this for now so that we can just see this work. And this add category function is just a function that expects to receive an object where you pass it the variables. And then it's just a matter of matching the variable category, like so, to some category object that we're trying to store. So this object, of course, would be the literal object. And that's it. This will now generate the mutation for you. And then you'll see it inside of your actual backend if you were looking at your database. But also the data would come back. The loading values would change as it's loading the actual process of setting the value. If it's successfully set, it comes back with the data, and that's it. This is all the mutation is. So again, the signature is very similar. You're just really switching from mutation to query and from query to mutation. But everything else about the GraphQL querying language is very streamlined. So once you've learned it, you really now understand the majority of how to interact with GraphQL. Everything else is really just a matter of tweaking and playing with Apollo so that you might get a couple other additional features that might be helpful for you. One of them being the fact that, as we know, inside of our index.js, we are using the in-memory cache. There are some other caching options, but the in-memory cache is 95% of the time the one that you want, because it's really just caching what's on that person who's using your application's local computer or local browser, essentially. So it's using their memory to cache those values for that session that they're active for. But that's it. I know, unfortunately, I have not created a mutation for you, but again, the limitation is that this course is being accessed by thousands upon thousands of students at any given time. If I were to open up these mutations, then the backend becomes inconsistent, and I don't want that. But again, the signature is very similar, and that's mutations. So now that we understand mutations, let's finish up understanding GraphQL versus other versions of non-GraphQL applications. I'll see you in the next video.